aren't you?
Doing great. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. Good to be alive.
Exactly. It's great to be alive, and it's always the memories I have with the executive, with the chairman of the board, and how I learned how to use a hammer. I'm excited finally to see him again, even though it's in virtual person. So I'm excited to welcome the program again, Ken Gould. Ken from Mission 500. He's the chairman of the board, and also Lori Gift Harris, executive director for Mission 500. Guys, thanks for stopping by. What's your perspective?
Glad to be here.
Yeah, great to be here.
Awesome. So we're going to kind of go into really quickly, starting out with a question for Ken, and basically to understand. Can you tell us how you got involved in Mission 500, Ken?
Sure, I'd love to. Um, I was actually the person that represented New Jersey Association. I'm now the president there, and I traveled the country. And we were, I believe, in Texas, and it was the ISC show. I'm sorry, it was the ESX show. Sorry for all these shows. ESX show, and I was walking with my wife through the hallways because I was just about done with my responsibilities to ESA. And this fella that was at the booth, it was a Mission 500 booth. I looked over and I happened to know him. His name was Tim Popora, who happened to be at that time the chairman of the board. He saw my softball jacket. We won the championship, I think, that year, and a hat. And he says, "You play softball?" I said, "Yeah, I surely do." He says, "I hear you run a lot of golf outings and stuff." I said, "Yes." He says, "I hear you're very active in the industry." I said, "Yes, I have something for you," he says. So we did get to talking, and we had a nice chat. My wife, he won my wife over, which is much more important. And my wife said, you do all these different things for different people. This sounds wonderful. She says, this way here you can help children. That's really your goal in life, to help children. That's what you do as coach. I said, yeah. So after thinking about it, my wife and I had a discussion about it again. Uh, I did call Timmy and say I'm very interested. A young lady named Janet Fenner was running the golf outing up in my turf, I guess, New Jersey, and they had asked me to kind of take over the softball game and get it to the next level. I have to say, Janet did such a wonderful job with that game that it wasn't the next level. I think it was just keeping it right where it was. So there's where I met everybody, and I really had a great time doing it. And we kind of did a little different things. By the way, I just want to say Neil there, had the winning hit last year to beat my team. So Neil. But we had a lot of fun, right, Neil? That was really, and we also
definitely had a blast, yeah.
And we struck a hammer with my son. My son is almost as big as Neil, by the way. So I had the two gentle giants next to me hitting the hammer. But we did also, as we do at Mission 500, we helped some people that needed housing, and it was a very good event, right? With that,
a fantastic event. And
yeah.
Again,
so we moved on. That you know how life goes. That within a year, I was asked to be on the advisory board. Accepted it. It had to be voted in. They voted me in. It was about another year, move fast. Uh, Popora had gotten a very big position in the industry and said, I really can't handle the responsibilities anymore. And that's how I ended up being the chair. Alan Foreman put my arm behind my back and some other people. But I love it. And I love the mission. So I thought it was good timing in my life to do something like that. And it's been wonderful being the chairman. So I'm the chairman now 2 years, heading into my third. I think I'm going to take my third term. And that's how I got involved with Mission 500 and how I've been staying active with Mission 500.
Well, let's back up a second because there may be some people watching who haven't seen one of our shows on Mission 500 before. What is Mission 500? What are the goals, purposes, visions?
So we really catered to Title I schools throughout the country. My first experience was going to a school and making backpacks for them. These are the children that don't have, we'd like to give to. It really has been a heartfelt a bit because I grew up in a Title II school in Staten Island. So I've been through giving my jacket away to a child or giving my lunch away because they just didn't have any. I just was fortunate enough to be able to do that, even though I was in a Title I district. So to me, it really hit home, So yes, we throughout the country, we've been to the Bronx, we've been to Florida, of course, we're heading more to the West Coast, a little bit north. Also, I've been involved with the burn camp. children who get very badly burnt in fires or chemicals. We have a camp for those children once a year. And we donate to that also. The New York City Fire Department runs that, but it also is for the whole Northeast. So that's been rewarding. Unfortunately, those poor young ladies that were taken in the sex trade down in Texas, we also help there where we give them supplies for schools. I went to Texas, I was there, and it really was also a very rewarding experience. We um, we do several things for different homeless. We've been very involved with the homeless in California. So we have several arms, but I think what we really started with was helping the children. They said 500. We were supposed to help 500 children. That's how it started with George
Okay.
Lester years ago, and look where we are today, which I'm very happy to say. So that's really our. It's a mission, and really what I'm proud of. Almost everybody is volunteer. We only have three staff people. Everybody else in this country is volunteer from our industry. So that's what I feel is really wonderful. And I get to talk to them, which is
So
really neat.
that's kind of an important fact there. The Mission 500 volunteers and board members and most of the organization is made up of individuals that are directly associated with the security industry in some
Yes.
form or fashion, right?
Or some fashion. Most of them are actually, I've been 45 years. Most of them have been like three generation families or have been very involved with the security industry one way or the other, which was great. Like right now we have 45 people on our board, on our committee in the Northeast. 45 people that actually are in the industry.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Lori, what is your role with Mission 500?
Well, let me start and tell you just a little quick background about myself. Just so I'm not in the security industry, have never been in the security industry. But what I've been is a philanthropy professional for about 30 years. So I've helped small nonprofits get started, and then I've worked with organizations as big as $2-3 million. And I've worked in every seat from operations to fundraising to CEO. So when I first heard about Mission 500, I just fell in love with the mission. And I jumped on board the end of 2020. So Mission 500 is a great organization, but it was really time to have someone come in a little bit more of a full-time capacity to really help Mission 500 get to the next level. So my role is twofold. So one is that I help the organization become more professional with everything from rewriting bylaws to leading board calls and all things in between that. And then also to speak to the security side, I also come alongside those that are in the security industry who are already engaging in philanthropy through corporate social responsibility. And then I help them sort of fulfill that side of the mission, which is to become more involved in philanthropy. So I guess you could probably call me a philanthropy coach. How's that? That's my.
And so, kind of to follow up with that question,
Yeah.
Ken kind of explained the whole organization again that we've had on before, but what is your role? As you're the executive director, so what do you have to go ahead and do to take it to the next level, Mission 500? Which I mean, it's amazing how much it's grown for what staff and what they've been able to do so far.
Right. Well, again, I think it's both infrastructure as well as outward facing, right? So the infrastructure has to become, much more professional in order for us to really even begin to move to that next level. So that's a part of it. But the other side is really expanding it across the US. So I'm out here in Portland, Oregon. So I've already started to work with a gentleman who's new to our advisory board about building the Oregon arm. And my personal goal is for us to have an ambassador in every single city. I mean, excuse me, every single state. Yeah, city would be awesome, but let's start with state. So we'll go from regions to states. So that would be part of my goal, or my role would be to go out, to go to some of these shows and things and represent Mission 500 as well, to really increase awareness that Mission 500 is the charity of choice for the security industry. They just don't know that yet. So we just have to get out there and make sure that they know that.
Right. So you guys have had a tough year. I mean, it seems like it would be a tough year for anybody, but charities as a whole, 2020 was hard on them. How are you surviving? How are you hanging in there?
Yeah, we're actually doing really well. We have been very, very fortunate to have a lot of people who have stuck with us. I'll give you a quick stat that they said 1 in 3 nonprofits will not make it out of 2020. And in my consulting work that I do, I've seen that. So to say that Mission 500 came out strong enough to hire me after a 2020
Wow.
says a lot about the organization, because I was actually supposed to be hired in March of last year. And then when COVID hit, we all just went, oh, wait, let's just sort of see what happens. And so then I came along at about August, September timeframe. So that just speaks, I think, to the commitment of the individuals. We had a golf tournament last year at the end of the year that was in person. But before that, we had this, Mission 500 Club where people were virtually raising money for us at 500 here, 500 there, and it just really filled in the gaps.
That's
So
great.
Ken, when do we expect the in-person events to happen for Mission 500? Are we going to have, and also I didn't put down, are we going to have a softball game this year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we obviously after the outing, which was very successful in New Jersey, perfect timing, and we did very well with it. I think we raised 75,000, Lori, right? And we did get everybody away from their world for a day. That everybody felt just good about being there, and it was so good to see all my industry friends and our industry friends there, and the fire department was there. So we sorry, Lori, we got a gift with Lori. We ended up with a gift that raising that to get us through a recovery year. I'd say this year is still a recovery year as a chair. I feel we still have to be careful with our spending, and we did. The hardest thing I think for me was adjusting not only this budget with the New Jersey Electronic Life Safety Association's budget, so I was kind of had both of those to change, right? The end of my companies, right? But we went okay. I think we after that I had went to the board and said I don't feel comfortable doing anything in person at this point with everything going on through the country. Let's give it some time. So as chair, I decided to stop all traveling and any other live events. So the good news is in June in the Boston area. Jeff Coco, Janet Fenner, and others are, and they took that one away from me, which was very nice because I'm so busy with everything else. We're going to have a golf outing in June, probably later June, Laurie. I'm not sure exactly what the date is, but and we're looking for a course right now, so that's going to be a live event. Look for it. We're going to do it. Of course, we have the ISC West. We're planning. I'll be planning to attend. So we're working on that. Softball game. Yes, Neil, you get a chance to beat us with your base hit again. He's been working out. He's not telling me he's working out all winter. he's
Well, I think I need to be told that, hey, this is going to happen now. So
October 2nd. I already spoke to the New York City Fire Department. As you saw, that was so we have one game against the travel team in the New York City Fire Department. We have a travel team for Mission 500. My cousin Pat Tobin, who's in California, is coming in. He's an All-American. Kip Grant from CMS and others, and my son, myself, we're playing. So that's nice. We build a team to play the New York City Fire Department. By the way, that's their travel team. I think it was 3-3 after 9 innings last year. That's how good the game was.
Yeah, they're very good. Very good team.
And then we did the home run derby, and then of course Neil, made me cry in my beer all night because he beat us in a softball game. The sponsor game is actually the fun game. We do have other events we're going to be doing in November. We have a group that we get together, the executive group out of New York and New Jersey, although when anybody could come, and they come throughout the country, and we do a dinner, and we recognize the people in our industry, not because of how much money they have, it's because of how much they've done for us, right, in this industry. So like Christy Marzano, who's been now the Northeast leader, she's being recognized, names you would probably know in the industry, Neil. That dinner, anything we make there, again, goes to Mission 500. That will be the day before the ISC show, we believe. It's being scheduled east, right? So that will be in New York City, we hope. Keep in mind with all the restaurants, we're not sure what we're going to do. So we're back out. We're ready to go.
All right. It's great.
How about Security 5K at ISC West? Is that going to happen?
We are right now looking at 2 venues. Good question, because we haven't decided yet. It will be either virtual well, we might try to do a little bit of splash of virtual, and keep in mind it is July in Vegas. But I think the people that are there are actually they run, so we're not expecting anybody to come to run that doesn't run, right? And then everybody else like me walks. So I walk, right? So the 2K is the walk. I think there would be, but yeah, right now that's where we are. We haven't made a decision yet. I spoke to Kat yesterday for a long time, and hopefully we'll give you that answer in 2 or 3 weeks or so.
But
Yeah.
we will be there.
Okay. Yes.
We will be there.
Yeah. So there you go. That's all hope will be there. That's again the
Yes.
hope is what we're seeing with the vaccine, and we're seeing the progress of hopefully being back to away from virtual events and with in person. That'll be awesome. Now,
Yeah.
when you talked about your plan, Lori, which I think is really interesting, is the fact of bringing Mission 500 to areas that people do not know you very well. So that strategy is that reaching out to people locally in the security industry versus how you guys already connected nationally to some really big organizations in the security industry, now more grassroots in those states you're talking about?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So I've already started to reach out to some of the individual fire organizations that are in different states. And that's sort of where I'm starting, is with them, to get some of the names. Because otherwise, certainly I could sit on my computer and Google for days upon end to come up with those organizations. But starting with the associations and getting contacts from them and just beginning to reach out to find people that are interested. And then really, again, we just need an ambassador, somebody who says, hey, yeah, that looks really great. I want to be that for Washington State or Philadelphia or Pennsylvania or whatever those states are. And then I'll come alongside them and help them, like I said, coaching them to include other people into that. And then just slowly by slowly, we'll just begin to build it out and start doing those events in those cities. But one thing I wanted to interject really quickly, if it's okay, is I forgot my most important job. My most important job is actually to keep Ken in line. And Ken has already forgotten something. Ken, what did you forget?
That's your full-time job, tell them.
You forgot something in Florida.
Yes. So we just started a group. I'm retired from ADT. I was actually the GM on September 11th, unfortunately. So I did retire after that. So I am meeting with Bob Sanders. He is the person that does all the public relations. We already did he was part of the golf outing. We're starting another region. I'm going to be the chair of it because I have a house in Florida also. And we're thinking about doing a dinner cruise down there. We are looking for a champion down there. I'm interviewing some people as I go down. So I think right off the bat, we hope to have it as many people in the security industry as we have in the Northeast. We have a group in the West already, but COVID has slowed us down a bit. Leanne's down there, so we have about 7 people already in the how would you say, the Los Angeles area, I would say, California area, and then of course we have our powerhouse Lori, right, in her area. So I think that the regions will come up quickly now that we're trying to get some relief from COVID.
So, in talking about the mission and what you guys do, and Ken, you mentioned earlier the original goal to help 500 kids, and obviously you guys have well exceeded that. Do you have any stories of impacts that you've seen over the years? Maybe for one kid, maybe for a handful of kids.
I think when you're actually in there giving the backpacks away, in Florida, I remember when they cried in my arms. It was just right. This the telling one child told me that they're not going to eat for 2 or 3 days. And then we knew we made a difference. Just their smiles, the parents. How about the parents? I just can't tell you how the parents feel about us being there and just doing it that day. Keep in mind that we have a lot of people like cops, and I could, by the way, not just mentioning one. There's so many other companies like yourself, your company that helps us, right? But getting those volunteers in, enrolling them, and then them seeing what I'm seeing. The burn camp, the stories, I just can't tell those stories because it's just sad. But there is, I do hang out with the chiefs and all that, and they tell me a lot of stuff that goes on. So that's definitely it. Um, When I did meet one or two of the girls that were taken in that trade down in Texas, didn't tell me a story, obviously, but I saw in their eyes a thank you. Thank you so much for caring about me and just
Right.
helping me through this bad time. Even if we were just given some school supplies, they just felt somebody cares about me. Um,
Neil,
yeah, there's a lot of stories. Yes, absolutely.
Neil, you got to take some members of your family up to the softball game.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Tell
I
us about
took
that
my
experience.
baby Jameson and also my older daughter Ava, and it was really a great experience. Such a great family experience. More of the interesting thing about the tournament is really it's just people that are the family that are involved in this. It's other people who aren't attending, so they're coming to all be part of this. They're watching and they're spectators, and it's mostly family, and that's nice, Ken, right? Where they all get together and help each other, and you put them to work at the event.
Yeah, and our families were together.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Neil, you helped pack up some backpacks. Your family helped with that. Then you
Yes.
also participated in a Habitat for Humanity event.
Yes, that's the mentioning of learning how to use a hammer that can.
Did you figure out which end to use?
No, it's more about it's really tiring, and you just don't expect it. And I was all preparing. It's funny I thought we were doing Habitat in Vegas before COVID came, and I'm like, okay, am I going to be ready? Because this is going to be a crazy trip. I'm going to fly down early, all those things, and it didn't happen. So I'll be ready for is Habitat. Are we going to be involved in that again, or you don't know yet based on
Not
COVID?
sure. We're going to try to
Don't
schedule
know
it.
yet.
Yeah, because we're still waiting for the date, Neil. I would have to speak with a couple of staff members to see if we'd be able to do it again. But it was rewarding. And just so you know, as you know, my grandson's name is Jameson. So we had the two Jamesons together that day.
That's great.
Yes.
That's
So
great.
the last thing I was going to ask you, Ken, is what is your ultimate goal for Mission 500? What do you want to see it go?
I'd like it to mean the ultimate goal, which was not that when I came in. It's all about children, right? And making sure we help as many children as we can in different walks of life, different ways. But I think really what drives me is just the friendship of everybody and just what they have their heart in it. I can't believe it. People I've met and really drive it. So it's not about one person or two people. It's about a team. Of course, the thing I'd love to achieve before I'm out of my chair, and by the way, there's so many people around me that will probably do a better job. An idea of a leader is to have people behind you do a better job in the next years, and that's kind of what I'm looking at. But more importantly, is to get these regions up and running because if we can affect different parts of the country and they're able to do what we've done in the Northeast, I think that's really going to be my biggest goal in the next year to get off the ground.
Lori, what are some of the things that you've seen? I know your time here is still on the new end, and you're probably just getting your feet wet, right? But what are you seeing in your involvement with Mission 500?
I was on a call the other day with some women, security women, who we were planning an event. And I told them this, that I have never seen such a passionate group of volunteers who are so busy and yet still find the time to put a meeting in the middle of their day to talk about a wine fundraiser. So I would say that's probably the biggest thing. And then to sort of piggyback on what Ken said, I'm all about the kids. And if you look me up on LinkedIn, I think it even says, I exist to empower the vulnerable children in this world. That's my kind of philosophy. But with that, I go back to what I said, the philanthropy coach. I love seeing lives transformed, people like you and I, who once we start giving back, that is a bigger change than what the child is getting on the other end. Because if we learn to give back, then we who are people who have maybe a little bit more to give, that just multiplies and multiplies. So that has been a joy to watch that in my short, 4 or 5 months that I've been here, and just to see the passion that people have.
All
Well, we
right.
wish you the best as you get your feet wet and get back out in the public with
Thank you.
500 and start planning some big things for the second half of the year.
Yeah, we're ready.
Exactly. So, Ken, where can we find information on Mission 500? Where can we go?
Well, we have a website. That's probably the best way. You'll find that on the website will direct you to where you would need to go. And also, I think every one of us is just wants to talk about Mission 500. So on the website, you'll see a lot of different names of people. I probably do most of the communication because I love it. I just love it. Right. But I think the website, mission500.org, would be the where you would probably want to go.
And I just created a mobile app. Don't forget about that.
Oh, sorry, Lori.
Hey,
Look up Mission 500 in your Google store or your Apple store, and you will find us. And yeah,
fantastic. All right. Well, Keith, you always do a summary of our guests. So summarize our guests.
Well, Ken and Lori, thank you so much for being on with us and talking about Mission 500. It's a cause that we at LENSEC believe in, and we want to continue to support going forward. And it's definitely a worthwhile cause. Our children really are our future. We all have to invest in them, not just the little crumb snatchers we have at home, but also the ones who have less support. And so. It really does take a village to raise a child well, and that's part of what we at LENSEC believe in. It's part of our mission to help um, keep people safe and keep assets secure, and that's one way we can do it is by giving back a little bit to organizations like Mission 500. So you'll always see LENSEC as a part of those events whenever we can be. It's a big commitment on our part to be there and to be a support for you guys in the big events that come up. And we really, truly believe in what you guys are doing. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your
thank
support.
you.
Appreciate it, guys, for stopping
Yeah.
by. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, guys. Again, what a great What's Your Perspective. Go to lensec.com/live to catch up with all of the What's Your Perspective episodes, and check us out on iTunes and also on Spotify. And I'll see you guys next week for What's Your Perspective. Take care.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you.